niggas shooting with their eyes closed. I shot a nigga in his neck with his blindfold. Ain't fucking with these different bitches, make your time go. And I got some Percane and make your nose flow. Hey, who am I to judge a nigga when I keep that thing? I shot a nigga in the store, he wouldn't say my name. I got this busy with a 50, I'ma let her bang. That nigga up the street, he snitching on the whole gang. I took the blame and I was quiet, but I played it smart. I got a chopper hole like 80 and it's shooting dots.
What's up, y'all? What's goodie? It's your girl Zeze back with another motherfucking video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, give this shit a thumbs up, share this motherfucker, all that shit. Okay, first things first, I got a B.O.B. Black on business alert. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? Shout out to Archie Ray. Hey, shout out to Archie Ray, that's my guy. Got some fresh ass shit. Make sure y'all follow him on the gram. I put his motherfucking Instagram and all that shit. Y'all go follow my nigga. He got some fly ass shit. Second of all, shout out to my nigga E in the beginning intro, because that's my guy as well. That's my cousin, actually. Do you fucking hear me? My nigga be cranking. Go follow that nigga on SoundCloud, all that shit, because that nigga's tight. He coming up. I'm trying to tell you. Go follow my nigga ASAP. But yeah, what's up? Today's video is going to be about, is gay the new black? Yeah, shit is crazy. I actually came up with that title because I was watching this TED Talk of this lady. I'm bad with names, but I forgot what this lady's name was called or whatever. But she's I think she was like a gay. I think she was gay. Yeah, she was gay. Gay black woman, and she was like talking about how she was doing this documentary. And I think the documentary is called "Gay is the New Black," and that's why I made that the title. But yeah, so she basically is talking about the intersectionalities. I don't fucking know. Intersectionality, I think that's what it's called. Of being gay and being black, and basically how the struggles, basically how the gay movement kind of took off, was influenced by the black movement, black rights movement and shit like that. So I was gonna do like reaction to that, because like as I was watching the video, I was like, yo, this is some shit. This is bullshit, honestly. She's trying to make it seem like they was motherfucking influenced. No, nigga, the gay movement was not influenced by the black movement. The gay movement pretty much hijacked the fucking black movement. That motherfucking influence from it. It pretty much hijacked it and, you know, took the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? From that shit. And that's mainly because, and she tried to make it, that's why I didn't really like it, because she tried to, you know what I'm saying, like, kind of make them go hand in hand and shit like that, when that really wasn't the case. Back then, when the first gay rights movement was going on, even if you just look at fucking pictures from, like, the gay rights movement from, like, the beginning on, from, like, fucking the 60s and shit like that, nigga, it was white people. The main reason why the gay rights movement kind of really surpassed the black movement so fast, is because it was mainly fucking white people doing it. It was mainly white people pushing for it. Like, what the fuck? Of course white people gonna get shit done faster and more effectively than black people are, because, hello, bitch, we have been oppressed, like, duh, you know what I'm saying? We don't have any fucking power in this country. That's what the problem is, and that's what the problem has been, and especially was back then, you know what I'm saying? So, duh, that movement kind of, like, fucking speed tracked its way up to where it's been, you know what I'm saying? And I really hate that, because a lot of people try to make it seem like fucking gays were oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they try to really, you know what I'm saying, compare being black and being gay. Like, especially with a gay black person, like, oh, you're a double minority. Like, wow, like, you're getting oppression from both ends. Like, no, that's not really the case. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you can hide being gay. Like, I can't just look at a nigga and be like, oh, he's gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can look at a nigga and say, oh, he's feminine. Oh, she's masculine, but that doesn't mean that you're fucking gay or that you're a lesbian. That doesn't mean that. I know flamboyant ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? Flamboyant ass niggas, especially and niggas who used to be flamboyant as hell, who have girlfriends now, who have children, like dead ass. You know what I'm saying? So doing this, wearing certain shit, you know what I'm saying? Especially in this day and age with this whole LGBT going on, you got men who are dressing like whole fucking women out this motherfucker with, who do like double lives and shit, and still have wives out there, still have children. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that, you can hide that shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't look at a nigga and tell he's gay. You know what I'm saying? That's not like, gays can be discriminated against. But I don't think they're oppressed. Like, fuck no. You know what I'm saying? Like, white people can be discriminated against, but they're not oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Black people, on the other hand, you cannot hide your blackness. I can't hide this shit. Unless I put on a wig, bitch, and you won't know it's a wig. Unless it's a bomb-ass lace front, but even then, you can still fucking tell, to be honest. Bitch, I can't hide this blackness. I can't hide this. Unless I'm about to put on some fucking white paint. I can't hide this shit. Nigga, you gonna look at me and know I'm fucking black. You know what I'm saying? So, being black, you don't have a choice but to be oppressed because you cannot hide your fucking blackness. I don't give a fuck how whitewash you, how much you want to whitewash yourself, how much you want to indulge in European culture, how much you want to talk like this and hang out with white people. I'm like, oh my gosh, Becky, like, Brad is telling kids, bitch, you still black, okay? You know what I'm saying? You cannot hide that shit no matter what you fucking do. You know what I'm saying? So, comparing the two is just fucking, it doesn't make sense. You cannot put them on the same scale. Being black way on the oppression scale definitely outweighs being fucking gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? Especially just looking back throughout history, like, my nigga, gays was not in slavery for 400 years. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? There was gay slave masters. What are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's matter of fact, that's a big problem inside the LGBT community anyways, is the passive and undercover racism, because they try to make this whole umbrella thing where it's like, oh yeah, you know, LGBT has to stand together and da-da-da. But you have like black trannies getting killed and shit like that. Like, that shit is, the numbers on that is going up and shit like that. Fucking black tranny, is trannies offensive? I don't fucking know. Black transsexuals being fucking killed and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You have blacks being discriminated with in the LGBT community, being fucking discriminated and being, you know what I'm saying, and have racist ass LGBT members in it. So it's like, my nigga, how are you going to make this whole umbrella effect talking about we all being oppressed and shit like that, when it's like, no, gay white people are not being oppressed, black gay people are being oppressed, some Latino gay people aren't being oppressed and are. It's like, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? You can't do that. It's the fucking scales are so uneven, you cannot put them all under one fucking thing. It just doesn't work, and it's not gonna work. So I use this whole intersectionality. I don't know if I can't say this. Intersectionality. This whole intersectionality thing now. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you got two minorities, and where this whole thing stemmed from, even though people are kind of starting to do it now, it's kind of a new trend where people are using that term. It kind of started from the civil rights movement. When you go all the way back to the civil rights movement, just looking at the civil rights movement, that's one of my biggest problems with the civil rights movement, is that it's even called the civil rights movement. It's not called the black civil rights movement. It's not called the black rights movement. It's not called the black empowerment rights movement, civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying? It's called the civil rights movement, and white people love bringing up the civil rights movement. White people love Dr. King. You know what I'm saying? They love bringing this up because it's a generalization, and it was a broad term for all these other groups to come about their empowerment, for the gay rights group, for the women's rights group, you know what I'm saying, for all these other groups and for the minorities, you know what I'm saying, for immigrants, all these other groups to come about their empowerment, to make all these fucking movements around the same time we was doing civil rights, you know what I'm saying, because it wasn't directly specified for just black people, even though when, you know what I'm saying, black people think of civil rights, we know, you know what I'm saying, it was for black rights, but when you really look at what was going on back then, you know what I'm saying, even when some of the things that Dr. King said, we dealing with human rights, like people like to spin that shit, even though when you look back at Dr. King's speeches, he was still talking about black people, they like to bring up, oh, well, yeah, he was talking about human rights, and, you know, everyone has their fair chance, and like, they try to make it seem like he was generalizing everyone, when that wasn't necessarily the case, you know what I'm saying, but it's easy for them to spin that because it was called the civil rights movement, you know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of white people don't like the Black Panther movement, because it was specifically for black people. You know what I'm saying? It was strictly only fighting for black people, the Black Panther movement. You know what I'm saying? White people didn't like that shit because they couldn't infiltrate that. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't get in that and make it, oh, well, yeah, the women's rights need civil rights too. They couldn't say that too. You know, they couldn't do that with the Black Panther movement. But they could do that with the civil rights because it was civil rights. It was for anyone that was fucking civil. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but that's one of the ways that they kind of branched off. The gay movement kind of branched off the black movement. As a matter of fact, the TED Talk that I was watching with the gay girl I was talking about, the gay black girl, she was talking about how all of the things that kind of happened throughout the civil rights movement kind of branched. Oh, you know what? I forgot about this B.O.B. Wait a minute, 2 seconds. My nails. This is a B.O.B. Shout out to Milani Lux Nails, I put out, insert her fucking IG. I need to follow her. Okay, she just started it, bitch. She just look good. I can't even fake. Alright. Anyways, so yeah, but the girl from TED Talk though, she was saying like she had named like a few events that the civil rights movement had where the gay rights movement was influenced by those and kind of did the same thing basically. So like you had the Montgomery boycotts, the Montgomery bus boycotts, and then you had the Stonewall riot. You had the March on Washington, for like civil rights and shit. That's where Dr. King did his speech at. And then after that, I think in like 69, that was in 63, and then after that, this was like in 69, they had the gay rights March on Washington, which was like in like 69. So they kind of basically did the same thing we did, but like I said, it was more effective because majority of people doing it was white. The faces of it was white. They were not black people. You know what I'm saying? Even she says that inside the TED Talk, like, yeah, you know, it's not very known, but you know, a lot of Latinos and blacks was actually with this movement as well. But it was like that purposely because they couldn't have blacks and Latinos represent that group because they wouldn't have got no fucking where. You know what I'm saying? They had blacks and Latinos representing the group. The only way it was going to get anywhere is if it was white people. That's how the women's movement got as far as it did because it was white women in the forefront of it. Yeah, they used black women for numbers, but they had white women in the forefront of it. You know what I'm saying? So the movement was pushed along way faster than any other movement. You know what I'm saying? So when people say, and the same thing goes for like immigrants and all these other groups. You know what I'm saying? It's white people. People think immigrants, and I talk about this in the immigrants video. If you haven't seen the immigrants and privilege video, if you haven't seen that, go watch that. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of immigrants who identify as white. So you know what I'm saying? There were still white people in the forefront of that movement, which is why it escalated so quickly. You know what I'm saying? So I hate when people say like, oh, you know what I'm saying, why black people so far behind? Like, why we acting like this isn't a country of opportunity? Like, you know what I'm saying? All these other groups have kind of pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, that little bitch ass saying that fucking Americans have, you know what I'm saying? Or like, they've done so much for themselves and all this other shit. Well, that's not even necessarily the case. It's only because they're white and because they have their white counterparts who escalated their movements for them. You know what I'm saying? Black people don't have that privilege. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but yeah, they've always tried to, you know what I'm saying, merge our struggles together. And matter of fact, they're doing it even more now. That's why I don't support Black Lives Matter, because look, they got shit. First of all, Black Lives Matter is not even a Black Lives Matter movement, literally. Like, it's not even a black rights movement, to be honest. It's more so an LGBT movement, an immigrant movement, a feminist movement. It's not a Black Lives Matter movement. You know what I'm saying? It's not a black rights movement, to be honest. Look on the fucking website. Matter of fact, they had a fucking shirt up there that said the future is queer. I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with Black Lives Mattering? What the fuck does this have to do with Black Lives? I'm so confused. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, even the women who the supposed founders of the fucking Black Lives Matter movement are all gay black women. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Look at that intersectionality again. I'm like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? All these bitches, it's all women and they're all gay. Like, I think one or two of them aren't gay or some shit like that. Or like one of them is bi or some shit, or queer, whatever the fuck that means. I don't fucking know. But look, they're all part of the fucking LGBT movement. Which is like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna trust no movement like that anyways, because y'all obviously not pushing for the right agenda that I'm trying to push. You know what I'm saying? Which is black empowerment. You know what I'm saying? Black ownership. So y'all not pushing for that shit. Y'all push for LGBT. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really hate the fact that they try to intersect our movements like it's the same, and it's really not. And oh yeah, that's what I'm about to say. And plus, you have to always, and this is why it's so important for me, especially for black gay people, like, always put your race before your sexuality, because white people do it. Every race does it. You know what I'm saying? Not just white people. Every fucking race does that shit. Black people, you have to put your race before your sexuality. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand that, because you can fight for LGBT rights all you fucking want to, but at the end of the day, if you still don't have black rights, those rights are only going to affect you but so far. You know what I'm saying? Because you're black too. You know what I'm saying? And LGBT, you gotta understand, a lot of LGBT is white. So there you have a lot of white people fighting for LGBT rights, because on the other hand, they already have the white privilege. Like, they good on that. They good on what we need. You know what I'm saying? What black people are fighting for, they good on that. They fighting for some shit like we want marriage equality and all sort of shit. They fighting for extra shit. You know what I'm saying? We are not in that predicament. You know what I'm saying? Black gay people are not in that predicament. You know what I'm saying? Should I say? Y'all are not in a predicament to be trying to fight for other people's rights when black people alone do not have the same rights as LGBT members. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you cannot make that, you know what I'm saying, you cannot make that your number one priority. You know what I'm saying? If your race should always come first. It's like like I said, at the end of the day, you can hide your sexuality. And shit, fuck that. Your sexuality can change, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, son, put your fucking race first, my nigga. That's the underlying fucking issue, is put your fucking race first. Other than that, y'all make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notifications bell. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think the LGBT and the Black rights movement are, you know what I'm saying, equivalent? Do you think we both have been oppressed on similar or equal levels? Do you think the LGBT has kind of hijacked our fucking movement and, you know what I'm saying, pushed us to the side like shit? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Yeah. Other than that, that's all I got. Alright, y'all.
I would really love to see your vision.
Vision? What do you know about my vision? My vision would turn your world upside down, tear us under your illusions, and send the sanctuary of your own ignorance crashing down around you. Now ask yourself, are you really ready to see that vision? Are you really ready to see that vision?
How I never get